to grow some plants. So I got some exciting stuff happening. First, I got my hat for the sun, because you need the sun to grow some stuff. Then I've got my pot. Oh, I got some pot. There you go. And it's got some good soil in it. No rocks in there. No roads. Keep the birds away. We want it to grow really, really well. And I've got some water. Yep. Need a bit of water to make it grow. Ah! Oh, who's vacuuming the church after today? And I've got my stake. That'll keep my plant up when it grows. The most important thing, oh, here it is. I got my seeds. I decided to grow some sunflower seeds because they're quick growing. They're going to grow really well. Okay, here comes the excitement. Okay, you're going to love this bit. You ready? You ready? What's this? What's this? Nothing. What's that about? Nothing. How come it's not growing? Oh, you got to talk to plants, don't you? Don't you? Grow! Grow! My plants aren't growing. Boom! Wake up, grow, grow. What am I doing wrong, kids? Why isn't it growing? I need some more sun. We got some pretty good spotlights. You need what? Time? Oh man, time? What if I put them in the microwave? Well, that'll make it grow. But you mean I need time? Oh man, this is boring, growing plants. Boring. Wait! No, just an ant. So, I can't make it grow. What if I like... I can't make it grow? It has to grow by itself? Is that what you were going to say? No, I can make it grow. I have to wait for a few days. Man, this is going to be the longest sermon ever. So I can't make it grow no matter what. All I can do is I can put it in the soil, can have good soil, I can water it, I can make sure it's got all the right conditions. But after that, I can't do anything. I've just got to wait. Well, that's what actually we read in that reading. Jesus says that plants grow all by themselves and we don't even know how. We're still working out how these dead-looking things come back alive. We can't tell which seeds are dead and which seeds are alive. We still don't know, even though we're really smart science and all that sort of stuff. So that's really hard, isn't it? Because sometimes we want things to grow. Well, do you know, not only do we talk about plants, I want to talk about me. Yeah, that's a pretty good picture. And even you mightn't be able to see it very well, because we can actually plant seeds in our life that will grow. So when Jesus is talking about all these seed things, he's not just talking about pots and all that. He's actually talking about ourselves. We can plant seeds in our life that will grow and be good things, that will make us be the best people that we could be, more like Jesus. And do you know who plants seeds in our lives? Think about today. Who plants seeds in your life? Our mums. Good answer. Our mums plant seeds in our life. You might think, what, when I'm asleep, she puts watermelon seeds in my ears? What is she doing? No, I mean, she plants good things in our life that as we grow up means we become good people, great people. Things like clean up your mess. If you remembered to do that, clean up your mess as you go. How about say please and thank you? That's a good thing to have planted in your life when you're little, because when you grow up, you'll say please and thank you when you get older. Save your money. Maybe that's something your mum's planted, or even your dad. Be kind to people. They're all things that your parents plants in your life. Well, but the types of seed I'm thinking about that we can plant, because not only our mums, but we can plant these things. I'm going to get you kids to plant some of these seeds. I need some blue tack. So what I want you to do is to go plant these seeds in my body. Okay, we've got respect. You want to go plant respect on that person? Go stick it on the board. Okay, who wants to plant a seed? Yep, you can plant good manners. Philip, here's a good one. You can plant honesty. Honesty is a good one. If we learn honesty when we're little, just plant it, on his foot. Yeah, come up the front. You can plant prayer. Something we can talk to God and plant that in our lives. He's got honesty on his face. You can have you can have love. You go plant that. You can have reading the Bible. That's a good thing to plant in your life. I've got one left. Okay, I'm going to get Gabriel. You can be the kindness man. Oh, the blue tack came off. Stuck on my finger. So you plant all those. Look at our person. He's got stuff all over him, doesn't he? Yep. Oh, okay, we'll help. Put that one there. Put that one there. So that's the person. They've got all these things planted in their life. Are they going to be like that tomorrow? It's like the seed, isn't it? It takes a long time to grow. You know what I need in my life? I need patience, because I'm worried about this plant. I want to see it grow and I'm too stressed. So I need to have some patience in my life. And God says, if you haven't got something, ask for it. So I better ask for some patience. Okay, God, I need patience and I need it now. Do you think I've got patience? Are you growing yet? Oh, I know. This will have to work. God, I'm going to hold my breath till you give me patience. Is that going to work? I could get a time machine and go in the future and then I'll have patience. No, then the plant will grow. Man, how long does it take good things to grow in your life? Can't it just be like drive-through an hour? We should have drive-through church. You just drive through, can have patience, kindness, goodness. Woohoo! Takes a week. Do you know, I think it takes a lifetime. We might want to be perfect tomorrow, all these things. And when we aren't, we can give up, can't we? Like, oh, this isn't going to work. I planted these seeds. This isn't going to work. I'm not going to water them tomorrow. Or maybe after a week we forget to water them. But how long did it take God things to grow? Sometimes your whole life. I think some of the people behind you, they'd still be saying they're learning patience. Hand up if you're still learning patience. Ooh, only about half. So half of them are really patient. That's good. When I was a teenager, I had a friend who became a Christian because of our friendship, and it was really good. He became a Christian. But after a year, he was getting a bit frustrated and a bit sad. And he said to me, I've been a Christian for more than a year. I've prayed, I read my Bible, I try to follow Jesus, yet hardly anything has changed. No one's noticed. No one that I know has become a Christian. Why don't I just give up? And he actually went home, and he was at his home with his family. And he said something like that at the dinner table. He was like, I've been a Christian, nothing's changed, so why do I bother? And his dad, who wasn't a person who went to church, his dad said this. His dad said, son, you have changed so much since you started going to church. You're a different person. You're motivated. You're much more considerate. You're interested in music. You've got good friends. You've become a much better person. It's the best thing that's ever happened to you. Don't you think nothing's changed and no one's noticed? We've all noticed, and it's good. What a good thing for him to hear. Because you know how you grow and you get a little bit taller and you don't notice? But someone who hasn't seen you for a while goes, wow, you got so tall. That's what Jesus told us these stories about, these little mustard seeds, to say, the kingdom of God is like this. It goes in you and it slowly, little by little changes. And you've got to trust God, or else you'll give up and think, oh, that's not going to work. One of our statements as a church is that we're going to grow in Christ. And that happens slowly when we plant these things, all of us, plant these things in our lives and let them grow. Okay, so here's the next question. There's all the good things we want to put in, but how do we actually get them in? I got some pictures here to help us. How do we get those things in our life? We could just go, I want honesty. I've got some things, we're going to stick these up, so I'm going to need some people to help stick them up. Oh, what did I do with my blue tack? Here it is. I think one way to get these good seeds in our life is to read the Bible. Okay, who wants to stick this one? Who didn't stick one before? Yep, you can come up. You didn't stick one before. If we read the Bible, we might read something like, you can stick it over here because that's going to be things that we help to put these in. So I remember when I was young, I read the Bible and it said, turn the other cheek. If someone calls you a name or something like that, instead of hitting them, if someone hits you, instead of hitting them back, turn the other cheek. And I read that and thought, wow, that's really different. I don't know if I could do that. Turn the other cheek. Oh. So I remember reading that, and that put a seed in my life. Then I had to meditate on that. So meditate, I've got some picture of some chewing gum. Because you might think, what does meditate mean? Meditate's like chewing gum. You put it in your mouth and... But meditate means you put something in your head, in your brain, and you think about it a lot. Like chewing gum, you go, what does it mean to turn the other cheek? Could I do that? What if someone hit me? What would I do? Blah, blah, blah. Who wants to put the chewing gum on? Oh, you've had to go, Philip. Someone who hasn't had to go. Yep. You want to come and put it up? Yep. So we can read the Bible, but then we need to chew over it. So you stick it over near the Bible somewhere. Then not only that, maybe we need to practice it. So practice means, I've thought about this, maybe I'm going to practice it. And I've got a hat for practice. You might think, how does that mean? Well, you might need a hat if you go out to practice. I'll tell you the story and then you can put it up, Connor. One day when I was in year 6, there was a boy in year 7, and he was a bit of a bully sometimes. And I was walking home from school with a hat on. And this kid ran past and grabbed my hat. And you know what you do when that happens? Give my hat back! Hey! And you chase him around, and he's like, oh, I got your hat, and run around. And I actually had been thinking about turning the other cheek. And I thought, you know what? Let's see if it works. So he grabbed my hat and ran off up the road a bit, and I just kept walking as if I hadn't even noticed. And then he was going, oh, do you want your hat back? Do you want your hat back? I got your hat. And I just kept walking as if I didn't notice. And then he goes, no, you can have your hat. You can have your hat. And I kept walking as if I didn't notice. And then, and I could not believe this boy who was a year older than me, who was a bit of a bully, he started just about crying. And he said, have your hat. And he ran off. And I suddenly thought, wow, this thing that I've read in the Bible that I've chewed over, it actually did work. So Connor, you can stick that up. So sometimes it's not enough to just think, I'm going to read this. I'm going to chew over this. You've got to think, maybe it's time to have a go at doing this. And let's see if that makes a difference. You can stick the hat up there somewhere. The other thing we can do, and this is something I really did when that was all going on, is I talked to God about that. God, what does it mean to turn the other cheek? What if someone was coming to rob my house? Do you think I should turn the other cheek then? Maybe I should ring the police then. Because we can't just let bullies get away with stuff. You want to stick this one up, Levi? So sometimes you've got to pray about it and say, God, when's What does this all mean? And the last one is it's good to follow what others do. So if you see maybe your mum and dad and think, well, how do they do this? Or maybe people at the church, how do they do this? And you can follow what they do. Oh, Gabriel, you've done one. Who hasn't done one? Oh, you have done one? Everyone's just about done one? Simon? So, Simon's the big boy at J-Zone. You can watch what he does. Philip's the big boy at J-Zone. So these are excellent ways to get the good seeds in your life and hopefully let them grow. I actually want to tell you there's also bad seeds that can go in your life. Yeah, like weeds. Bad seeds that can go in your life. There was a boy who started stealing pencils. And he got away with it. And he thought, this is pretty cool. So he started stealing yo-yos. And then he went into shops and stole other things. And stole other things until one day he stole a car and he got caught and he went to jail. He got sprung. If we plant bad things in our life, even though there might be little, I stole a pencil, it doesn't really matter, that they can grow and become bad things. So just as there's good seeds, there's also bad seeds. How about the girl who used to tell lots of lies? She told so many lies that her friends didn't believe her anymore. And so it was hard for her to have friends because they were like, we don't know if we can trust her. We don't know if she's ever telling the truth. The man who cried wolf. And I know in my life, I was growing up, and when I was about year 6, because all my friends were swearing, I started to swear. And I realised right then, I'm glad I realised that back then, that I had put swearing in my life. And I thought, do I want that in my life? And I actually prayed to God. I said, God, whenever I'm about to swear, I want you to remind me so I don't. And I was amazed. It was another one of these times when I was in year 6. If I went to swear, it was like something stopped me just before. And so I never planted that seed in my life. And it hasn't been a problem. Now that's really hard though, because sometimes stuff gets planted and we don't even realise, or we don't even do it. If someone does something nasty to us, we have a choice. We can either plant bitterness in our life. Bitterness is where you get angry at them and like, I'm never going to forgive that person, I hate that person. Or you can plant forgiveness. And you can say, even though it's really hard, I might forgive that person and let it go. It doesn't mean I'll let them do it again to me, but I say, I'm going to forgive them. If you plant bitterness, I think it'll grow up to be something that twists you as you get older into a gnarly old tree. But if you plant forgiveness, I think that's going to be a champion thing. Which one should we plant? Forgiveness. We're going to plant forgiveness instead of bitterness. That's really good. Do you know what's best of all? Even if you plant all the worst stuff in your life, even if your plant is surrounded by weeds, God still loves you and forgives you and wants to be your friend. And in fact, God can remove, little by little, those bad seeds in your life. Might not be easy, but God can do that. God doesn't stand up in heaven and say, do all the good seeds or else. God says, I love you all. And I want you to choose the good seeds, because if you choose the good seeds, you're going to have the best life that you could have. And I want to be there and help those good seeds to grow. And if the bad seeds are there, well, we can work on that as well. In fact, you'll grow up and it says that you'll have many birds that nest in you. You might think, what does that mean? Well, it's a bit like what mums and dads and uncles and aunts and all that do. They are people that we can go to and rely on as kids. You know how sometimes you need to go to mum and get a hug? It's because they've planted good seeds in their life, and you know that they're people who love you and that can trust. Now, you might not believe that these things are the good life. Sometimes they don't sound exciting. These other things sound exciting. Yeah, we'll have those things. But these good things, in the long term, they produce amazing things called character, integrity, love, justice, and grace. And I want to tell you, they are wonderful things to have in your life. They're the best things you can have in your life. When you have those things in your life, people will look to you as someone who's strong and reliable, not a mangy bush. And ultimately, these values, especially forgiveness, mercy, and grace, they lead to eternal life, because that's Jesus' way on the cross. Okay, last thing. I want all the kids to come and stand up here with me. Come and stand up with me. We're going to ask 2 questions. We'll look at all these people out here. Yeah, my son, that's good. Firstly, I want to ask, have we all as adults planted bad things in our life that we've regretted later? Who has planted something in their life or found something in their life that they regretted later? Put up your hand, let's be honest. You know, we've all made mistakes. Except for Becky. We've all made mistakes. So that's good to know. And you would all say that if you had your time over, you would rather not have planted that. Isn't that right? Yeah. So sometimes we plant these things and then we realise later, oh, that didn't work out very well. But I want you to take a good look at all these people, because all these people are on your side. They are the crowd cheering you on. They want you to choose the good seeds because they want you to have the good life. And they can be your great examples. And they will still love you even if you choose the bad seeds, won't you? Yes. They will still love you even if you choose to do some wrong things. You'll still love them, won't you? Yes. Because that is what God is like. God is like the prodigal son, the father. Even though the prodigal son did some bad things, God was saying, I'm always here to welcome you back. I think that's pretty special. These guys are saying, even if you muck up in life and you feel maybe embarrassed or you feel ashamed, you are always welcome back. Because they will love you, because that's what God is like. Excellent. I think you can give the kids a clap for being that. The new kids can give the parents a clap for that. Okay, you kids can sit down again. That's a special bond. Who wants God's kingdom to grow in there? There's about 7 of us. Who wants God's kingdom to grow in us? I really want God's kingdom to grow in me. And if we do that, if we choose the seeds, before you know it,